Hello, and welcome to Spider and Web by Andrew Plotkin. This is probably one of my favorite puzzle games of all time. It's one of the best puzzle interactive fiction games ever created from 1998, and I would say that it's absolutely well above or well ahead of its time in terms of both the concept, the science fiction and spy element, the implementation in terms of everything that you have to do technically to get a game like this to work in the back end, and also just the entire concept is just mind-bogglingly genius and super clever throughout. This is a game in which your player character and your antagonist both know more about what's happening than you as the player do. So part of the challenge and the puzzle of this game is learning what your character knows and then acting based upon that. And then knowing what your antagonist knows and then acting to sort of manipulate him as well. There's a ton of stuff going on. It's extremely clever, and it's one of the greatest puzzle games that I think I've ever played. That being said, there is an award-winning puzzle around the halfway mark of this game, but as I'm playing this straight through to the end from memory, uh, I'm going to be spoiling how to solve the game and what all these puzzles are. So if you have any inclination to go play this yourself, I would highly recommend trying it. Just go to the Spider and Web page on the Interactive Fiction Database, just IFDB, and you can hit this Play Online button, and it'll load the game in your browser. No download, nothing. Super easy to do, super accessible. So yes, I highly recommend going to try it yourself. If you're new to this sort of game, it might be a little bit difficult, but uh, stick at it, and if you need help, if you need a walkthrough, come back to this video because I'll be playing the whole thing straight through. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on Spider and Web. On the whole, it was worth the trip. The plains were really broad and green gold, if scarred with fences and agricultural crawlers. The mountains were overwhelming, and however much of the capital city is crusted with squat brick and faceless concrete hulks, there are still flashes of its historic charm. You've seen spires above the streets, tiny green parks below tenements, hidden jewels of fountains beyond walls. Any bland alley can conceal balconies wrought into iron gardens, fiery mosaics, a tree or a bed of flowers nurtured by who knows who. This alley, however, is a total washout. It ends in flat, bare, dirty brick, and you found nothing but a door which lacks even the courtesy of a handle. Maybe you should call it a day. End of alley. It's a narrow dead end here, with walls rising oppressively high in three directions. The alley is quite empty, bare even of trash, and you can retreat to the south. There is a plain metal door here, and it's completely shut. If we examine the door, it's a naked sheet of metal a foot taller than you, wide as your outstretched arms. No handle, no keyhole, no label, no sign, nothing that'll tell you how to open it. We can't, and there is a suspicious black plate embedded beside it, but if we examine the plate, a featureless dull black rectangle is embedded in the bricks beside the door. It's about the width of your palm. No fool could doubt that the plate has something to do with opening the door, but we have no idea how to actually use it or how to get the door open. If we check our inventory, if can we examine ourselves, just ourselves, or not carrying anything of importance, nothing we can do here. So our only option is just to go south, and then south out of the alley. You leave door and alley behind and set off to see what else this fine city might hold. And here's our first plot twist. Interrogation chamber imprisoned in the chair. You blink away sharp edges of memory, and the dim walls slowly emerge into your sight once again. Dark metal walls and air uncomfortably cool, and cool metal bands around your wrists and feet and forehead. He leans forward over his desk, through the glow of his monitors and controls. Impatience tightens his face. Don't be absurd, he says. You are no more a sightseer than the old tree in Capitol Square. And if you'd had enough sense to walk away from that door, you wouldn't be here. You don't, and you didn't, and are, and we caught you. And you are going to start by telling me how you got through that door. Do you understand me? So, this is our first interaction with our main antagonist throughout the game. It seems that we are not exactly who we say we are. We are not just a tourist in this city, and we are being captured and interrogated. So, can he really get that information out of us? Yes. The man nods briefly, a man satisfied with the least important detail. He touches a control. Once again, a faint whine begins to drill through your temples. And this brings us to another concept. He seems to have technology which will force us to relieve our memories and our actions. So, the main gameplay loop here will be uh, doing what he thinks we did and what our player character did to appease him and show him how we wound up into our current situation in the interrogation chamber in the chair. So, this time we know that we went through the door. We can still examine the door, same. Examine the plate, same. Check our inventory, nothing. Check ourself, nothing. We can try to knock on door. You scrape your knuckles without result. There is no sound. It's like knocking on the side of a mountain. Shake door. Hit door. Kick door. Okay, nothing's working. So, it seems we're done here. We don't have anything to do. It says we can't leave. You have a job to do. This is tedious, the man says. Of course you didn't walk up there and start rattling the door like a night clump, nor did you blow through the keyhole. Clenched knuckles rap on the desk, tension at odds with his patient tone. Nor, I add, did you break into this place barehanded and bare naked. You had something which opened that door, and you used it. Was it this? His fist opens abruptly. Something rod-shaped gleams silver in his palm. Let's examine the silver object. It's your lockpick, yes. A silver rod the size of your ring finger, splayed at one end into a flat disk of conductor web matrix. You can't make out from this distance whether it's undamaged. Was it the lockpick that we used? Sure. I thought it might be, he says. He turns the rod over in his fingers once. Small but clearly functional. Show me. So, here our description is changed a little bit. This alley, however, has no time for charm. It ends in flat, dirty, bare brick, and a door which lacks even the courtesy of a handle. Not that you'll wait on courtesy. Alright, so we're at the narrow dead end. We have our door, we have our plate. Same, but this time we are carrying nothing worthy of intention except a lockpick. So if we examine our lockpick, it's the same thing. We have a conductor web matrix. So if we press lockpick on plate, this, touch lockpick to plate. There we go. The pick locks itself rigidly to the black plate by the door. Its status dot flashes to yellow. Let's wait. Wait, sliding towards green. 3 waits, and the door slides open. You blink away the memory. The dim room once again comes into focus, and the man behind the desk. The man turns the lockpick again in his fingers. This is nice. This truly is. We have nothing like it. And this was the only piece of equipment you carried? Chances are it's not. Naturally not. I look forward to examining the others. Not, he adds, that they did you any good in the end. Sure. Now, let's continue. You entered the complex. And here is where it gets really open-ended. The lockpick thing is sort of spoon-fed to you, just to show you the concept of the game. But here is where we have many different things we can do, many different options. I'll try to show some of them. Some of them I'll just say and then won't show. And then if you want to see what happens, then you'll have to play the game for yourself. But here we are in the White Junction. So we have halls going north, east, and southeast. If we go southeast, this is just the corridor by the entrance, which is where the door to the alley is. We don't need to do anything with that. Let's go east first. Corridor boundary. The corridor angles here and crosses a boundary of some sort as it does. A few strides down the southeast branch, a dotted red line crosses the floor. You can retreat to the west. If we go southeast, we step across the line, continue down the corridor. You blink away the memory. I believe you're forgetting something, the man gazes at you levelly. Our forensics people went over the area very thoroughly after we captured you. And we found evidence that you've been up in the open ceiling panel in the northwest corner. Did you think you could hide that from us? No. Not certainly if you're going to go bleeding all over the place. Now show me. So this is how the game works. If you do something wrong, he won't be happy. He won't let you continue. He'll send you back to the same checkpoint and then ask you to perform events that line up with what he thinks happened. So if we check north, you'll see that we do have a missing ceiling panel here. There's a rectangular gap that he's talking about, and we do need to figure out how to get up there. If we examine the gap, it seems we can't really do anything with that. How do we get up there? Examine, or, hmm. If we go east here, and then there's another corridor boundary. This is a different corridor boundary room, actually. We don't need to be over there. Uh, yes. So, the door to the west you can unlock with your lockpick. There's nothing there for you except just a reset. If you want to see what happens, play the game for yourself. If we open north door and head north, there's a wrench here. We can take the wrench or not. And there's some crates. So maybe we can use the crates to get up to the hole in the ceiling. So can we move crate? Smaller? Even the smaller crate is too heavy to move, so that's not the solution. I don't believe the wrench will help out very much. So how do we get to the ceiling panel? You simply just jump. You bend and leap, your fingers brush the edge of the hole, catch, and you concentrate on holding on. Your feet swing gently a foot above the floor. And here we go. You can see the sharp edge digging into a finger. There's some blood on the hole's lip. Now, if we examine the hole, we can see that there's a small package here wrapped in cloth. So let's take our package and then drop back down. And with that, we have everything that we need. We're carrying nothing worthy of attention except for the package we just got, our lockpick, and tons of equipment that we'll use to solve some later puzzles. I guess now is as good a time as any. If we examine something like the blast tab, which is pretty much just like an explosive that we can set off, you'll see that there is a minus link here. That minus link is basically something that signifies that it's something that you activate. And then if we take something like a push button, if we examine push button, it has a plus link. So plus links are things that activate the minus links, and then you can link them together to make it happen. That's basically the gist of every single one of these pieces of equipment in our inventory, and we'll use them later to solve some puzzles. But yes, for now, we don't need to do anything. We just need to head south, back to where we started at the White Junction, east, and then southeast. Just an interesting note here. That dotted red line that we cross multiple times that doesn't seem to do anything, that's a metal detector. So if you take the wrench from that one room with you, then you'll set up the metal detector and have to restart there as well. And this guy even alludes to it here. And off you went through our secure zone like a scalpel through cheese. A plastic scalpel, he adds, smiling at you. At least our scan web keeps spies from carrying guns with them when they stroll through our bases. Or does your side have non-metallic guns now? No. We would know. And you would know that we would. Eh. For all the effort we put into secrets, my people and yours, do we ever manage to keep any? Yes, you do. Yes, and here you are, because you don't have this one. And this is the secret that matters. You didn't get it, and we can keep it just a little longer. Remember this. We are learning more about what we're actually doing here. We're a spy, and it seems we're looking for a secret that the other side has, and that we're infiltrating their base or lab to try to figure out what that secret is. Yes. A little longer is all we need. A bit more time here as well. I hope you'll continue to cooperate. Your next move must have been... Here we are at the T junction. The white corridor runs east to west here with a branch leading off to the north and a closed metal door to the south. You can see that the east hall reaches a dead end a short distance away. We can do some exploring here. If we head east, you'll see that distant footsteps sound somewhere to the west. We're sitting at a dead end. If we examine this door, and then try to put lockpick on plates, the metal door to the north isn't important. And this is in special italicized text, so I would recommend keeping the fact that this door is supposedly not important in mind. Um, Footsteps are clear, so let's try to, oh dear. It seems that we're sort of stuck a little bit. We have been caught by the guards because we were taking too much time there. And you'll see the squad on Mobile 3, the ones you say stumbled into you, you do have their images, right? I know you saw them, but they say they never saw you. Did they lie? No, they didn't. Thank you. Now let's go again. So, this is the T-junction. So we have access to the north, west, and east. The east is where we just went. That's the dead end with the totally not important door. And the guards are coming from the north. So we really kind of just have to hide and then figure out a way to get past them to go north. That's the aim of the game here. So if we wait a little bit, you'll see. The footsteps move out of a branch corridor to the north, a trio of guards still heading this way. You dodge back out of their line of view, flattening yourself inside the west side of the T. The problem is, similar to last time, if we just sit here and wait for them to show up, they'll just see us and then catch us. And we cannot have that happen because that's not what happened. So what can we do? We can throw lockpick east. The lockpick clatters down the hall into the dead end. Did you hear that? Sounded like it was coming from the wiring closet. The three guards run around the corner, down the east hall, without a glance at where you huddle in the western branch. And with that, we can simply go north out of their line of sight. Excellent. Very neat, behind the backs of the guards, and leave them to mumble over the lockpick. Not that they knew what it was at the time, of course. And you slip north into the core areas. Yes, why thank you. It's very clever. I assume you went straight to the lab then? Yes, indeed. Straight to your goal. Do you have any imagination? Do you realize what this technology will be used for? He seems as astonished as the outburst as you. I do know what it is. I don't as the player in this scenario, but our player character does. You do, and you are still here for it. Clean war, no troops, no civilian blood, one man at a time, slipped into an office or a palace beyond any hope of wall or guard. Or not even a man, a grenade, a canister of gas. The end of security. I'd be out of a job. His eyes are distant, and again you feel that you're the least important thing in the room. Bad enough if we get it first. We'll take you apart or just threaten to, harsh but quick. It would be over, we'd have won. But if your people get it too, if you've gotten out with the data, do you realize? Yes, you said, and you don't. Knives at each other's throats. How long could that last? 2 years? 5? Eventually, it would be too tempting. Some premier or on commander who poses too much immediate threat. Then it would be literal knives at each other's literal cursed throats. Whole governments beheaded overnight. Same for anyone who tries to move up, take charge. It wouldn't end. Could you swear honestly that anyone left on your side wouldn't keep using it on anyone left on our side? Senatemen, troops, farmers? No. And in spite of that, or anything, I march too. Let's get back to that. So this whole section in conversation here is a very, very big clue as to what this secret device that we came here for, or the secret data or blueprints or whatever that we came here for are. And we know that it's probably hidden in this thing called a lab. Outside laboratory. The corridor from the east ends here, and a single door looms to the west. It's no larger than doors you've seen elsewhere, but it looks heavy, unyielding. Reinforcing struts cross the door's face, and the surface is sheathed with some black coating. The door is no larger than the doors you've seen elsewhere. There is a black plate beside the door. However, we just threw our lockpick away. We cannot get through this door, which is a major issue. And this is part of the puzzle, because intuitively we would assume that there's something to do with just finding a separate way to get in without the lockpick. If we check our inventory, we have a lot of things that could do the job, particularly the blast tab. If we, let's see. Can we put blast tab on door? Take blast tab out of the case or briefcase or tool case. Put blast tab on door. We balance it. Connect blast tab to. Let's do push button and see if this works or if it just blows me up. You can see that we've connected the two, so Hit button. Push button. You jerk your finger as the blast tab goes off, tearing a hole through the door. Your positioning was precise, the locking mechanism is shredded, and the door begins to sag open. Clearly, that's not what appeases the man. The happy ending, of course. You blow the lock, walk inside, and the plans are free to your hand. Indeed, I wonder why you didn't do that when you were actually there. I don't doubt your gel tab was powerful enough to do what you claim. It wasn't that you simply didn't fail to think of it, did you? No. Then why didn't you? I suppose you were told not to leave fingerprints, or footprints, but surely the lab had priority. The information, getting it out, had to be more important than whether we knew you'd been there. No. The man is shaking his head. I hope one day to have one of your superiors in that chair. I would truly like to understand how they set their priorities. We are treading on very thin ice, because we are very close to having him discover that not all is as it seems. But regardless, let's continue from the same checkpoint. It seems that we actually did not get into the lab here. And we find that out in this conversation, actually, that he's wondering why we didn't actually just go inside. So, it seems we didn't go inside. Let's see. We have an exit to the east. If we go to the lab junction, you jerk back from the intersection, a reflexive startle leap. There are 6 guards down the hall to the south. They do not seem to have seen you. Can we wait? Wait. Wait. We hear the guards talking, and then they move away. So we can just wait and then wait until the guards are distracted, dart across to the east, and get back to where we need to be going. Wow. You didn't use the blast step. You just walked away. By that much, you missed starting a war, or ending the one we've got. This is a war, for all that we're not shooting. Yes. Now you surprise me. You think more like me than my own commander does. I think, if this is peace, why are the armies getting larger, and even more money on secrets than simple guns? He brings up a point. Just because countries are not in open warfare doesn't mean they're not actually at war. There's a whole lot of politics going on. There's a whole lot of national security going on. Very, very interesting concepts, and reminder that this is a 1998 game. This is before major technology and everything. Very, very interesting. Alright. I agree with you here. I'll make a note of that for estimates of your budget schedules. It's frustrating. You've thought about this technology. It could put our footprints on the moon. We could walk to other stars as easily as to the bathhouse. Oceans and mountains wouldn't be walls. That, I think, is what our masters are afraid of. They'll face death before living without walls. You, is that why you're here? Why you're willing to unchain a war of assassination? Sure. But why? No. Business first. You left the lab without using your explosive. You came back to security to get your precious lockpick for the lab door? The silver rod flashes between his fingers, and you'd forgotten he was holding it. Yes, of course. But for other reasons as well, I think. Show me. And here we go. This is one of the most difficult ones, in my opinion. We are carrying nothing worthy of attention except all of our equipment. We still have our blast tab. There are a few things that I would like to show off here. Let's see. Let's start by examining the north doorway. The room to the north is walled in bare metal. A squat metal chair and a control-covered console face each other there. There is nothing beside. You can see a band of scan web over the doorway just inside the room. So, some key takeaways from here. This that we're looking to is literally the interrogation room that we're actually in real time. So, this is the interrogation room to the north. And second, there is this important scan web, which will detect if we just waltz on in there. I can go ahead and do that, actually. Just go north. You're in a dim room in the interrogation chamber, blah, blah, blah. A harsh buzz continues. Within moments, you hear footsteps hurrying towards you. This buzz is basically just the scan web detecting that we've gone through the door. An amateur, I think, could have walked through a doorway without ever seeing the scan web above it, and you've demonstrated that you're not an amateur. Let's try again. If we examine all the other doors, east door, the room to the east is unexpectedly luxurious, wooden desk, rich paneling, occupied mostly by cabinets. There's also scan web here. If we examine south door, also lockers, table at the far end. There's also scan web. So, how do we disable this scan web? Well, we have in our inventory something called a scan scrambler. I wonder what that does. If we examine it, it can detect and scramble a scan web on any frequency, or so the theory is drawn. We have a minus link. So, uh, let us see here. Let's examine the voice module. Small black box with a short antenna on one side and a plus link on the other. Examine voice transmitter. It's a small black square with an audio pickup on one side and a short antenna on the other. Status dot is blue. Audio keywords are printed along one edge. So if we read keywords, keywords for the voice transmitter are tango to on and waltz to off. In your voice print only, of course. So if we go ahead and connect voice module to scan scrambler, we connect it, and then if we say tango to turn it on, the scrambler status dot goes green and there's a 1. So now we can walk through any door. I'll go north to the interrogation chamber. And there's a couple interesting things here too. First, I want to point out we have italicized text. There's a chill of memory in our bones. And second, the scrambler emits a sharp squeal, there's a sharper crackling noise, and then a thread of smoke as its quiet vibration ceases. So the scan scrambler has completely broken due to some reason from moving through the room. If we try to leave again, we no longer have a working scan scrambler, so we'll just get caught. You didn't set off the alarm going in, and you weren't found inside, so you must have suppressed the scan web coming out as well, yes? Interesting. He brings up a point, so let's link our voice module to scan scrambler again, and then so we know that we can't bring it into rooms with us this time, so let's go ahead and drop our scan. Take scan first out of the tool case, drop scan, so we drop the scan scrambler and the voice module, but the nice thing is we have a voice transmitter that we can carry with us. So if we say tango, now we can check out, say, the east room. Security office, not a lot is here. If we examine cabinets, nothing here. We're looking for our lockpick, right? But we're not going to find it. 3 drawer metal cabinets, all closed. Nothing good, nothing good. Anyway, a buzzer begins sounding. And then you might think to yourself, but wait, the scan scrambler is still active on the outside. And here. Yes, the wonderful scan scrambler, but it cannot be miraculous. The high sensitivity webs around security could be fooled, but the scrambler's presence would leave eddies. Glitches, you understand. More than a few of those in a handful of seconds, and the watchdogs get suspicious. As you showed me, the alarms would ring. Please again, and using the magic less clumsily. So, we have the right idea. Connect scan to voice module. Take scan scrambler. Drop it onto the ground. Say tango to activate it. Head east, and then say waltz to deactivate it from out. Because what he's basically saying is you can't leave it on for too long or else it'll go bad and you'll get caught. So every single time we go through a room, we turn it on, go through, and then immediately shut it off again. Now we can go ahead and look at the cabinets. Examine cabinets, please. Open cabinets. All locked. Examine desk. Nothing here. Nothing. So to leave, we have to say tango again. Head west and say waltz. And is there anything else we need to do here? We can check out that southern room, actually. So I'll say tango again. Head south, say waltz so we don't get caught. And basically, there's nothing of interest here. The lockers are going to be locked, and there is a pen on the table that I will grab. If we examine the pen, Ordinary looking pen, nib looks a bit sharp. Say tango, head north, say waltz, take all off the ground, and let's head west, or southwest, excuse me. You blink away the memory, the dim room comes into focus, and the man behind the desk. And away you went. You were searching the storage room for your lockpick, of course. I'm afraid I had it at the time, although whoever left that pen lying around is due a reprimand. Sloppy, and you provided an excellent demonstration of why. His smile is for the first time self-satisfied. It's more frightening even than you expected, but quickly gone. And you entered my office looking for what? Passcodes, keys, open drawers, and indiscretions. Also the lockpick. Yes, of course. I'm not sorry at all to have disappointed you. I am good at my job, and I am careful, which is the same thought. If you could have caught me loose, caught me blind or far-eyed, you might have succeeded. But you did not. So we've learned a little bit more about him. That was his office, actually. So he is basically the head of security at this branch or lab for the enemy in terms of two sides going against each other in spy warfare. What am I to make of you? You speak me to the truth and best as you can. You are plain with me when you could drag your feet and slow my questioning. You have striven to keep the session calm, and I do not think it was out of fear of my anger. Your eyes never, never waver from mine. I have tried to treat you as an equal, a companion in our work. That is technique, of course, we both know that. But it is also sincere. You are different, I think. You are convinced your side is right and ours is wrong, and that you must win. Perhaps I should envy that conviction. It is my own burden that I cannot even do that. And in spite of this, I know you are an intelligent, as well as determined. You hold those strengths to what you believe, even if what you believe seems, well, as I said. Well, have I done well? It is my job to know everything about you, after all. So, this is a little bit of a game. There's a bunch of mutual respect between these two, but it means nothing if war breaks out. Basically, both people know they're very good at each other's jobs, but they're still trying to beat each other and outwit each other. And as of now, it looks like we are in the hot seat as the player character. Has he done well knowing everything about you? Sure, we'll appease him. I am delighted. But we are nearly done. You have only a few more seconds, and you have yet to show me what becomes of your mysterious cloth-wrapped package. Diagonal branch. This bare stretch of hallway angles from northwest to the east. Another short hall leads south. You throw yourself to a halt, nearly stumbling, as you hear footsteps approaching from the northwest. And then the guards behind you become audible as well. You duck around the southern corner and glance about desperately. We can't really do anything northwest, east. We can go southwest, I believe. Wow, I'm just stupid. Okay, south. You back down the corridor as silently as you can. The hallway ends in blank white wall. A metal door stands close to the west. A discarded filing cabinet is by the wall. The drawer is closed. Wow. So we're kind of in a pickle. We're stuck in a dead end. Let's see what we got. Examine cabinet. It's a standard 3-door file cabinet. Open drawers are closed, and a guard walks through. He sees you. He fumbles for his pulse gun. Do we have anything in our inventory that can help? Yes, we do. Attack guard with pen. You feint, then jab the pen into the guard's shoulder as hard as you can. His reflexive counter hurls you into the wall, but then he shivers once and slides to the ground and remains there. The door slides shut. So, the pen is good enough to incapacitate one guard, but not against a group with guns. So, we do need to be very careful here. Can we open the cabinet? Two are locked, drawers empty. Put all in cabinet. We've put everything in there. Close cabinet. Is that as hidden as we can make it? We're going to get caught. We know that for sure. We can't do anything. So we have just to wait now. Hold you. Take a quick glance. Several guards have come around the corner. Their narrow eyes take in the fallen shape of your feet, and they bring up their weapons. We have been captured. You blink away memory. The dim room comes into focus, and the man is there to applaud us softly. Well done, a heroic end to your shining tale, and in the large, an accurate one, but not precise. We were certainly not fools enough to ignore that broken cabinet drawer. You left nothing inside of it. So let's try again. Diagonal branch, the spare stretch of hallway angles from the northwest to the east. Another short hall leads south. You throw yourself in. We can try to go northwest, but the guards are right there, so that's not going to work. If we go east, there's also guards. That's not going to work. So as I said before, we only have option to go into the dead end. But we did not hide the items in the cabinet. Let's see here. Examine the wall. They are smooth and blank, except for one ventilator grill near the ceiling. We have ourselves a little guy here. We still attack guard with pen to do the same thing, but now we have to figure out how to get up to that grill. Can we stand on cabinet? Yes, we can. Open grill, please. Put all in grill. Excuse me. Put all in grill. Close grill, and we get down. Wait a few more turns, and we will be captured. Here we go. This is the crucial turning point in the game. Maybe it's a little past halfway. I kind of did the explanations for the first ones very slowly and thoroughly. But yes, I will also go ahead and hit save here. So the puzzle, I'll just call it this. I'm going to let this whole conversation play out just like it does without doing anything and without solving the puzzle first. And then we'll go ahead and talk about it a little bit, and then I'll show the solution. So you blink away the memory, the dim room comes into focus, and the man breathes out slowly. His eyes are soft with realization. The ventilation duct. The ventilation duct. Mobile 8, get down to the hallway where our friend was captured. Yes, I know you have. You have missed a leaf. Open up ventilation grill M2 and search inside. There should be a number of microelectronic tools and a small bundle wrapped in cloth. Report to me immediately. The man spreads his hands apologetically. I must look like a great fool, he says to you. No, you've done very well. Kind of you. Well, I can plead an excuse. We rebuilt our ventilation system from the ground up less than half a year ago. It's fenced and webbed and wired so that a grain of sand couldn't sneak through, but only at the external intakes in the junctions. We never thought to check for an object cached just inside a vent. We never thought it would be a danger. And it wasn't a danger, in fact, was it? No. We got you, and you didn't get into the lab, much less get out afterwards. You moved a package from one hiding place to another. I still can't see. I'll see soon. They're bringing it in. The man absently waves you into silence. A chime sounds. The man pounces on his controls, then gestures impatiently towards the doorway. A guard enters. She gives you only a brief professional glance. Approaching the desk, she lays out a handful of small items. The man nods, dismissing her without a thought, then stares. This was all? Where's the package? With? Asked the guard, puzzled. Never mind, go. His eyes are blazing on you as the guard slips out the doorway. You have lied to me, and I am tired of it. I have had enough. You remain silent. That's it. Curse you and curse all your blood. A killing light slams you behind the eyes. Images fall through it helplessly. Door, hall, leap, open door, chair. But the light doesn't let you go. You have failed. So, this is the puzzle. Figure out what to do in this scenario to not have this game over happen. This is the critical award-winning puzzle that is absolutely genius. And I'll go ahead and restore the game to the save point here. Let's see here. So, what have we missed here? So what he thinks happened, or what we told him happened, was we used our lockpick on the door in the alley to get in. We were able to get our package from the ceiling panel, leave a drop of blood there, and then come back down. And that's about it. We didn't set off a metal detector. Third, we bypassed some guards by throwing our lockpick. Fourth, we went to the lab, discovered we couldn't open it without the lockpick, and then waited for guards to leave and then snuck east to the security annex, hopefully to find it. Um, we were unable to secure the lockpick in the security wing because our interrogator had it at the time and he was elsewhere, but we were able to pick up a pen and search and not discover any passwords. Next, we tried to leave, discovered that we were quickly being caught, and then we tried to hide, stash our package and our equipment into a ventilation grill in the wall inside of a dead end before we were captured. That's what he thinks happened. That's not what actually happened. I would like to give you a hint here if you're still trying to think about this yourself. Think about when there were very italicized messages that uh, that very italicized messages that were trying to dissuade us from doing certain things. Um, I'll go ahead and find them by scrolling, I believe, if I can. One of them is let's see here. One of them is this. You feel a chill of memory in your bones. The interrogation chamber is important, though you could have guessed that already because we're stuck there and we're trying to not be stuck here. Um, the other important thing is well earlier. Um, this is too early slightly. That's a little too early. The metal door to the north isn't important in the dead end south. This is the other one that I'm thinking of. And then a third hint is um, this whole time with the laboratory business, the guard is questioning us. Why didn't we use our blast tab on the lab door and just get the stuff and get out right then and there? Which is a very good question, but we played it off at the time. So, those are my hints. And if you're ready for the solution, I'll go ahead and explain it here. What the guard thinks happened and what we showed him happening is not what happened. Uh, in the middle there, where we were waiting for quite a few turns to get around the guards and throw our lockpick to bypass that area, we may or may not have uh, done something to that door. Additionally, we may or may not have done something to the interrogation chair, because the guard knows that we went into 2 rooms, not 3, not 1, while we were in the security annex, because he's analyzed the data, seen the scan web data, saw that there were small disparities twice, so enough to go into 2 rooms. He thinks we did not go into the interrogation chamber, but we actually did. We set up something critical on the chair with our equipment, and then now we need a way of activating it. I've already used this method of activation. It's a way of doing it without hitting a switch, without physically doing anything, and it can work across rooms. What's happened is we've connected our acid tab to the interrogation chair, and it's linked to the voice module. And now that the guard is just about to bring our voice module or our voice transmitter into the room, we can actually activate it. So if I go ahead and wait a little bit, they bring in the items. If I examine the items, this will actually give a little bit of a clue here. So we have mini lamp, we have scrambler, we have push button, timer, toggle switch, key transmitter, voice transmitter, no package, no blast tab, no acid pack, no voice module. If we say tango, you say the keyword. The man jerks like lightning struck tree at the sound of your voice, but it is too late. There's a piercing hiss from the pedestal beneath your chair. Acrid mist sprays around your feet. The man is leaping up, but you can already feel it shifting beneath you. The metal slats sag and crumple. You tear your limbs from the dissolving steel bands. You are in a dim room bounded by metal walls. A scarred pedestal stands empty where the chair was. Facing it is an instrument-covered desk. Otherwise, the room is sterile. The man is on his feet staring at you, stunned and with perhaps somewhere underneath a flicker of doubt. Scraps of metal lie around the pedestal, still visibly decaying, and we have all our equipment on there. First things first, attack man. The man falls back just a fraction, and then your fist slams in his belly. He folds up, you coldly aim another blow at the back of his skull. The man's body hits the floor, he lies still. And we do need to take some things with us. I'll save here, title it Escape, and then I will take, I believe I need lockpick, push button, and nothing else, I believe. Okay. I think we're good to just go south? The guard failed to turn on the scan web after the... Yeah, okay. So now we're in the security annex, a familiar location that we've been to before. We know that we need to head southwest. Ankle branch. West is a blank door. Nothing to do in there. I don't think I've ever actually opened that door, but I'll save it for another time. Northeast is where we came from. North is not exactly ideal. Let's head south. We're at the T-junction. The T-junction is interesting because this is where we threw the lockpick east and where we saw this metal door that wasn't important. Let's put lockpick on plate, which we know is there. Wait, wait, wait. Take lockpick, and then head north into the wiring closet. Ah, my apologies about that. I made a slight error, and I did an oopsie here. So back at the dead end south, I just restored back to the escape sequence, took my lockpick push button, went the same route, south, southwest, southeast, and then got to the dead end south here. The main thing is here, we put lockpick on plate. Wait, and then when the door opens, we don't take it, we just go north. Here we can link radio, and then link blast tab to push button, push the button, and just as before, we're in darkness. But now there's an open door to the south, which is incredibly important because we left our lockpick there to hold the door open for us. Yeah, that's critical. I forgot to do that because if you take the lockpick out beforehand, then the door will be shut right now, and you literally cannot leave, which sucks. Yeah. So we've basically succeeded in completely sabotaging the electricity in this place. That means that basically we're just throwing the whole thing into chaos. Yeah. So now we can go south, take our lockpick. This is incredibly important. We're going to need it again. And then we head west. Now we need to go the long way around to get back to the laboratory, because that, of course, is where our final objective actually is. So, T-junction, let's go west. Diagonal branch, let's go northwest. And you can see this is the quarter boundary that we passed by near the very, very beginning of the game. If we head back west, the north, you can see our ceiling panel is here. And I think it's about time that we figure out what happened to that package, right? If we jump up, examine gap, nothing here. But if we drop a little bit, open another ventilation grill here. Excuse me. Jump. Open grill. Inside another ventilation grill is our gun. Take gun down. North. We don't need to go north. We need to go east. Southeast. We have a little bit of a conundrum here because there's guards in the way. Shoot guards with gun. 2 of the guards are unconscious. You shift your gun string for better targeting in the shadows and fire again. A third figure jerks and collapses. The pulses are raining off the corridor at you, and you fountain yourself into cover. You freeze. So we need to go southeast, north. Lab junction west, northwest. All right, outside laboratory. We found our way to the laboratory. Thank goodness. Put lockpick on plate. We need to get this thing open. This. Wait. Wait. If we, I'm just gonna save this at lab entry. Do I need to take the lockpick now, or? Yes. So we take it, the door begins to swing shut, but we can go in before it does, and then now it's shut behind us with it, which is a great way to slow those guards down. Um, we do need to figure out what the secret of this thing is, figure out what's going on, and also delay the guards even further. So agenda one, figure out how to make the door really, really hard to open, even if you have the correct credentials to get it open with the plate. Um, beginning, um, examine door, examine panel, or open panel rather, shoot sub-circuitry with our gun. Damn. Okay, that's all done. The door is going to be much more difficult to open now. Now we can sort of run around, figure out what's going on here. If we examine our, hmm, there is a. Let's read the room description very carefully here. There's no question what this place is. High, brightly lit, this part of the building must have its own power supply and filled with arcane, half-built, and unlabeled machinery. Heavy door, no worry, no worry. Center of the chaos is a great silver platform wrapped in a cage of scan web. Control console next to it. Cables run out of the floor from the platform to the walls, tangle around a low cabinet off to one side. Much paper, much clutter. Large black device. A mat in there. Steel cube sits on the mat. Uh, interesting. So, have you figured out what this device does yet? Because what it is it's a teleportation device. And you can see that there's a silver platform, there's a cage of scan web in there, there's a control console, there's a landing pad, this mat inside of it, inside of the space, steel cube, which has clearly just been teleported. So let's figure out how to get this thing operating, and then we can actually escape. If we examine the cabinet, open cabinet, you'll see that there is a single logic plate that's been removed. Let's examine the papers here. You quickly sort through the papers as best you can. In a few moments you have piled up a single stack of the most critical diagrams, tables. Everything else is less scattered across the room. Let's check our inventory real quick. We're carrying lockpick, gun, radio module. Can I take important papers, please? Yes. Let's take the logic plate too. Put logic plate in cabinet. Close the cabinet, and then that's taken care of. Now let's examine the console to see if we can get this to work. Um, there's a freestanding console next facing it. Two buttons, gray oval of contact pad substrate, a smaller display on the regular oval and a readout strip. Handwritten labels are marked by each control. Examine labels. Examine labels, please. Destination waveform. Upper button says ready. Lower button is labeled light the fire. Yeah, so we're trying to figure out how to operate this. We've already put the logic thing into the put the logic thing into the cabinet, so that's all fixed. We have our important papers. What we need to do is push the upper button first because it says ready, right? So push upper button. It says ready. Push lower button. And it says Paulson 5. Look at the power readout. Something going on in there. Has the curse chief finished his curse nap yet? Now we need to open cage. Get in cage. Close cage. Ah, I believe I've forgotten something. Oh well, it's too late now. I'll show you what happens on this game over screen. Wait. And then blast it down, the guy says. Familiar voice. Light is pouring around you. You feel yourself dimly falling towards a padded surface. and then you're hauled to your feet, a muzzle gun. You have failed to make a difference. What's happened here is we did not change the destination of the teleporter. I forgot to do that during that whole panic sequence there. So we basically teleported ourselves to the padded mat in the very same room. So that's completely useless for our escape. And as a result, we haven't made a difference. If we restore to lab entry, take lockpick, right? Then west, door boom shut, open access panel, shoot sub-circuitry. Let's examine papers, take important papers, and the logic plate. Open cabinet, put logic plate in cabinet. Can I close cabinet now? Examine console. Touch pad. Touch white. Touch contact pad. Maybe we have to press top button first. Press or touch white. Pad? Really? What on earth is happening? Do we need to press lower button first? Then touch pad? Touch oval? Ah, it's called an oval. That's what's going on here. Okay, that makes sense. I couldn't figure out what the correct word for that oval shape is, because it's this oval thing here, right, in the console. I could have sworn that like it was called a contact pad thing. Yeah, this is what I was thinking of, though I got the color wrong. I couldn't get the pad thing to work. I forgot. You have to refer to it as an oval for it to work. But basically what this does is it changes the waveform, which is the destination waveform. So we've changed our destination. We need to open cage, get in cage, close cage. And with that, the same things happen. They blast into the door. We're about to leave in the teleportation, and then we snap away. Don't land in the same room. Don't get captured. And we have escaped with the plans. We have made a difference. Oh, apologies for the little bit messy walkthrough there. I haven't played this game in a little while, and that entire solution is basically off of memory. And I did have to cut once to troubleshoot a mistake I made with leaving that lockpick out there. But yeah, there are also different ways of getting the made a difference. It is possible to use the black machine in the lab to destroy the important papers, which will basically also make a difference even if you get captured. Um, that occurs even if you destroy the papers and get caught, or if you destroy the papers and escape in the teleporter as well. Um, Basically, it's simply fantastic what's really gone on here because, in truth, your actual action is that you go in, you know that you're going to get caught ahead of time, or you're planning on getting caught ahead of time. So you invent this imaginary package to create a believable story for your interrogator to believe while he's interrogating you. So the package never existed for any reason. It was pretty much only a reason to hide your gun in the ventilation grill so you can use it later. And then when you escape, you no longer have a gun that would have set off the metal detector. You're able to go through, put most of your equipment into where you get caught in that grill, uh, hide the blast tab in the wiring cabinet, hide the acid attached to the voice module in the interrogation chamber to escape that chair once the voice transmitter is brought into the room by your enemy for you. And then you are able to go to the lab, open it with your newly recovered lockpick, and then you are able to collect the teleportation blueprints and escape. All in all, like, I was blown away by this entire concept the first time I played this game. Absolutely fantastic puzzling there. And it's a shame I sort of blundered on the solution at the very end because my memory was a little bit foggy of exactly what you need to do. One thing I should note is during the final selection or section where you're basically on your escape, you have very limited moves to do the correct number of things. If you waste time, you're going to get caught. and you cannot afford for that to happen. You're on a very strict timer as to how you can do things. So that is a small complaint I have with the game, is it's not very forgiving. It basically is very reset heavy. So you do something, you fail, you reset, and you learn from it and implement what you've learned to do something different next time, which is it can be a very good puzzle solving mechanism, but it does become tedious, and it feels like the game is borderline unplayable on the first time because it's impossible to win on the first shot, which to some people is sort of a detriment in terms of perceived fairness. To me, I don't really have that problem. I think the execution and the concept of this game is absolutely fantastic. Uh, the interactive fiction text adventure medium is absolutely perfect for describing this whole interrogation, memory, reliving sort of experience thing that's going on. I don't think this concept could be executed any better in any other way other than these text adventure games like this. Absolutely outstanding game right here. And you can see it on some of the reviews here. Futuristic spy story. Bulk of the game is flashbacks, recreating things that lead to your capture. Um, Undoubtedly confusing, difficult, unforgiving, but you appreciate the ingenuity. It's absolutely fantastic. A work of genius. Uh, I I simply just love the game. I am blown away by the puzzle. I can see why it's so highly regarded as one of the best puzzles in all of interactive fiction. And I basically have almost nothing to say but very, very positive things about this game. So hopefully the walkthrough helped you. I don't think it was my best work, but yeah. And playing the game again was a lot of fun, and sort of just figuring out how to redo everything from memory is just an experience. With that being said, if you haven't played it for yourself, go ahead and play it for yourself, or just click on Andrew Plotkin's name here and check out many other games that he's written. All fantastic, all very, very interesting, all very stellar. So, highly recommend that. But yes, I hope you enjoyed watching. If you're looking for other incredible text adventure games, I have played the original Zork 1, 2, and 3 on my channel. Go check those walkthroughs out. Those are much more less story, more business, more walkthrough, going through everything without a mistake. And a different, very intriguing game I have also played on my channel is Photopia by Adam Cadre, I think his name is. Uh, Incredible story, an incredible use of the interactive fiction medium again to sort of go through memory reliving and storytelling out of order like that. That's a very different game from this, but I also highly recommend it. It's one of the best out there. So please go check out those other videos if you're at all interested in this type of game. And above all else, go play the interactive fiction games from the interactive database. There's tons of games that you can just hit this play online button and then go for it right in your browser without downloading anything like this. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.